When you go to America, the first drink you are given, you have to be very careful. So when Ruto went to America, there was something, the drink he was given, it contained human blood. That the Statehouse has been renovated. Do you know that the Statehouse was pulled down completely? The Statehouse was pulled down completely, and they did a new structure.
Another prophecy you talked about, the like people may come out in large numbers, in the streets, back in the streets.
Yes.
Maybe, and also, will you talk about that prophecy?
Yes, I remember I'd spoken about it. But remember, anytime I give a prophecy as a church, we pray. And it's not just the prayer the people see, we're praying on the camera. I remember we fasted for 21 days with intercessors of the church to stop any riots, people coming out in large numbers and bringing chaos. And that thing was about to happen. I think you saw signs. You saw signs how people came out and they were silenced. And this was just a sign to prove to the people that what God had said was really prone to happen. But because of the prayers of the saints, as a matter of fact, I want you to understand, Martin, that Kenyans are prayerful. It's a prayerful nation. And there are people who pray behind the scenes. Kenya has got intercessors who rise up. There are people who would call me at 12 midnight, intercessors in a group over hundreds. There's a time I was called by intercessors who are gathering in a place on a mountain, 300 of them. And we prayed just over that prophecy. And after praying, we saw the hand of God. What happened during Sabasaba, it was something that was to paralyze the country. But because of the prayers, God had to stop everything. When this guy was killed, this teacher, you saw what happened. It was going towards that direction. But what I want to say is that God intervened. You know, as a prophet, when God gives you a prophecy, what happens is that God reveals to redeem. Not every prophecy is supposed to happen or come to pass. Sometimes if God is showing you something, the reason why we come out to speak so that people can come together to pray and cancel anything that is evil. So what happens is that people prayed. Even though when God speaks, there will always be a sign. So there was a sign, but I believe that God has intervened. And as we speak right now in Kenya, with these revivals you are seeing happening, Rema Feast, and people gathering and praying, I believe that God is sanitizing this country. And going forward, we are not going to shed blood anymore. I believe Kenyans are sobering up, and there is a peace that is actually being restored. If you are very sensitive in the spirit, you can sense some calmness and peace around the nation of Kenya. Even though things are not moving the right way, people are still struggling, the economy is doing poorly. But when there is peace, what happens is that everything calms down. Yes.
Can we maybe talk about the possible reasons that may lead to such going back to the situation that we had?
The possible reasons is when leaders remain adamant. I want to believe that our own president has really learned a lot from the Gen Z demonstrations, and is doing everything to make sure that it does not happen again. For example, I have seen him giving out goodies to the Gen Zs, trying to empower them. Part of the things that we silence the demonstration and the move of this. But if corruption is going to continue to, take center stage in Kenya, I can assure you that this demonstration are prone to come up again. So our leaders have to be very careful so that they don't engage in corruption, embezzlement of funds, this issue of killing, stealing, destruction, kidnapping of the youth, and all kind of stuff. If they are going to continue, then I can assure the government that they will not have any rest. The youth will still stand up and they will come out in large numbers. You see what is happening in Nepal right now. Yeah, the youth they are coming up and they are really displaying the politicians. So I want to tell the leaders that it is not yet over. They have to be very careful. They should not go celebrating, because our youth, as much as they will not be able to stick to the rules and do the work, serve this country as it is required, they have to be aware that the youth uprising, it is something that happens without even being announced. So they have to be very careful. Yes.
And you talked about the Nepal issue. Kenyans were in large numbers talking about, we are taking notes. If you try to trigger us.
This thing it all began here in Kenya.
Yeah.
I always tell people that Kenya is a very serious portal. Whatever begins here in Kenya, it will work anywhere else. So Kenyans are looking at what is happening to Nepal, and they are warning the government. They are telling the government, if you try to do something, we are taking notes, and we are also coming for you. So I think as a nation, we have to be careful, and our leaders, we need to change ourselves now. I'm one person who believes that Kenya is rich, and Kenya people are not supposed to be struggling the way we are struggling. I usually look at a few people like Baba Wino and this MP of Kiaru, Ndindi Nyoro. Ndindi Nyoro, when you look at him, what he has done in Kiaru, if you go to Kiaru right now, you will think you are in a different country.
Yeah.
The schools, every school is tiled. Right now, when you go to any day school, they pay only a fee of 1,000 per year. You can imagine. There is free food. So it means that if Kenyans can be serious, that is the level that every constituency will experience.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we are raising leaders who are very wicked. We want leaders like the likes of Baba Wino, Ndindi Nyoro, the people we see doing this. And by the way, Ndindi Nyoro was my roommate in campus.
Wow.
Yes, the things he's doing here, he started while he was in campus. He was a leader from there. And I've seen him. He has been very consistent. And I am praying for him that one day also is going to be at the top, because he's one of the guys that are going to change this country. Yes.
Yeah. There is an issue that really arose from Kenya and Parliament recently about the extension of the presidential term, and also not only the presidential, the other leaders, the governor, the MP, whichever. So there was a motion that ilisemekana that they want to push for that motion. Maybe do you think it will happen? And also, do you think, because that was exactly what triggered Kenyans, they started talking about, you want to test us, and then try doing that. Do you think it can bring issues in Kenya?
No, this one should sound like a warning to the politicians of Kenya. Don't try Kenyans. Kenyans they are past fear. They can do right now. They are willing to do anything because Kenyans they are tired actually. So anybody trying to say that they want to extend the term limit, whether for the president or the MPs, the governors, whatever term they want to extend, they must understand that they will be lighting a fire that is going to consume them. They must never try such a thing. And I don't think if it can really happen in Kenya. Right now, where we are as a country, we are past that. You cannot just come up with laws, just like it happened with the finance bill. I think if they try to extend the term limit, this one is going to be more serious than the issue that was with the finance bill. So what I know is that number one is just a motion, but they must never try that at any given time. Number two, it's going to fail terribly. Even if the MPs are going to pass it, we are going to experience an unrest in this country. Yes, there will be chaos. Yeah, so it can never happen. If they want Kenya to be ungovernable, let them try to do such a thing. It's a warning to them that they must never test the patience of Kenyans. Yes.
Yeah. And you personally, you are a leader. And you can be a good leader. Looking at President Ruto and some few leaders, they were good leaders before they got into power. They knew God. They did everything possible to please Kenyans. But the moment they got there, they forgot about Kenyans. What exactly changes a man from being a good leader now to being the worst and hated leader like President Ruto and some guys?
What happens is that what control leaders are their systems. Normally when you are elected as a president, sometimes you have a very little say. Many of the decisions that are made at the highest level, the president will only contribute maybe 40%. 60% comes from the systems. But personally, I'm going to talk about Ruto a little bit because we saw Ruto as being a Christian leader by the time we were electing him. And even though right now he's still a leader, he's still a Christian, but something happened along the line. Personally, I was praying so much about the issue of our President Ruto. And when you look at our prophecies, how we have been praying and advising him, I said the whole problem began the moment he went to America. You see, Ruto, before he traveled to America, there was a time he was talking about one Africa. He was talking about United States of Africa. He was saying that there is no point of using many currency. We can come together and have our own dollar. So when he started to talk about these things, it got the attention of the Western countries. They began to see him as a threat. And anybody who tries that in Africa, they will find a way to finish you. So he traveled to America. And when he went to America, something happened. Yes, we used to have a lecturer. His name was Dr. Muriuki. He was teaching us gene cloning, and this thing to do with molecular science. So he was warning us that anytime you go to America, the first drink you are given, you have to be very careful. So when Ruto went to America, there was something, the drink he was given, I want to believe it contained human blood. And this was like a covenant that he was entering into. It was a spiritual covenant that he entered into. The moment he came back from there, that's when he came with finance bill. That's when he came with so many things. He came when he was changed completely. He was no longer talking about one Africa. Yes, he just came a totally different person. So when he came, we started seeing him react differently. Even the rules that he stood against, things like LGBTQ, we have seen these bills being signed into laws. So we were wondering what's not happening. It is because something happened. You know, life is spiritual, Martin. So when he went there, and America, there's a very high level of witchcraft that people doesn't know. It's a modern kind of witchcraft, but it's very dangerous. Once this thing is happened to you, it's like you become dumb. You cannot reason well. So what happened to him is that they interfered with his thinking and reasoning capacity. The issue of being a staunch Christian changed completely. And at some point, he backslided. He became sick. So what is happening is that the prayers of the saints are the ones that are trying to deliver him to come back. But what I had said initially, that Ruto needed serious, when I was talking about Ruto needs to be delivered, people didn't know what I was talking about. He needed to be delivered from the powers that entered him the moment he went to America. But with the prayers, I believe he's being delivered, but at a slow pace. He's not fully delivered. So what happened is that there are systems you find in place. You've heard this saying that the Statehouse has been renovated. Do you know that the Statehouse was pulled down completely? The Statehouse was pulled down completely, and they did a new structure. So there are men of God. I'm not one of them, but I understand there are men of God who came and spoke to him, and he told him that for you to succeed in your leadership, because you are a new breed coming into office, you are a president with a new vision, a president who fears God. Statehouse, it was built by colonial masters, and there were altars that were there which were speaking. Yes, so these altars have to go down for you to rule well. Yes, and you know, by the time we were having this uprising, the youth going to the street, that's the time when he was demonstrating those altars. And the altars were trying to retaliate. They were trying to retaliate and to fight back. So what is happening is that when he came in, he was the one sitting as a president, but the people who rule, they are different. Do you know that most African countries, they are still being ruled by the whites? They are being ruled by the Western masters. People just claim that we've gotten independence, but that independence, we no longer have it. What is happening is that they control everything. They tell you, for us to give you money to do this and this, you must pass this bill, you must do this, you must do this, you must do this. So if you are a Christian, you may be compromised. You may be compromised. So what happens? What makes most of them to change? These are some of the factors that makes them to change. Yeah, but for Ruto, it was a bit a different issue, because he was coming into position as a staunch Christian, a man who was very close to God, and a man who needed to change everything from bringing down the altars of Baal to raising the altar of God. And he had quite a serious a battle to fight. Yes.
You talked of a drink, and I remember Trump visited Russia. Was it Russia or where?
Yes.
He was given a drink and he didn't drink it.
Yes, that these countries don't joke with them. The first drink you are given, if you are a high-ranking individual, you have to be very careful, because these people, they know what they are doing. They know it's all about covenants. Most of these nations, they operate in high level witchcraft. So what they do is that they have already done enchantment and incantation with the drink, that when you take that drink, whatever they will speak, you must agree to it. So what happens, you just drink the drink and then you become like a zombie. Whatever they speak, you just agree. So Trump, is also very spiritual, so he understands these things. Yes.
Lastly, about the politics, the side of Ruto. Ruto has a wife, and Kenyans take the wife as their mother. And now, when you look at the situations that happen in Kenya, Rachel Ruto has been so much quiet. He's not representing the motherly love maybe to Kenyans. Do you think it is right for her to be silent, or she should come out and support the husband, and they also come out in maybe with some few projects to help Kenya?
So on that question, I think it's a very important question. The issue of her coming out and speaking and addressing, I don't think if it is very important. Though there are some cases where she needs to come in to talk to the president, even in secret, and give counsel to him. Because women always have instincts. When something is about to happen, they will always feel it first before it happens. So not necessarily coming out and speaking, but giving counsel to the president and advising him and giving him direction. When it comes to other being involved in projects, that one he has. I can say she has failed completely, because we are now almost finishing the first term, and we haven't seen anything tangible that she has done. When you go behind, you realize that the wife of Kibaki, Lucy Kibaki, was engaged in so many activities. Right now, we have a hospital called Lucy Kibaki Hospital, courtesy of that lady, first lady. And it has really helped people of Eastlands. Yes, there are people when we move from Westland, they go for treatment there. And there are so many other legacies that she left behind. A good mother, you have to take care of the health of your children. If you are a good mother with a good heart, you always look at the well-being, particularly in terms of health of your children. That's why these first ladies, they are so much concerned with the health of their children. So when you look at Margaret Kenyatta, the wife to Uhuru Kenyatta, she has also done a lot in terms of health, particularly when it comes to maternal health. There are hospitals like Mama Margaret Hospital that is in Madare. I actually visited the hospital, and there's a relative who was very sick, a child. I took them there, and I saw the facility is quite very impressive, very good. She has done a lot. You remember when she came with Linda Mama. So women, once you have Linda Mama, you go to hospital, and giving birth will be very easy. But looking at our first lady, she has done barely nothing. When the husband is coming up with SHA, when you and people, the border men and the Mama Mboga, struggling to pay a yearly fee of 20,000, 15,000, it becomes so unreasonable. As a woman, you must sympathize with your children and come up with something that will actually help the needy and the poor, the widows, and even those children who have been born. Yes, come up with something like Linda Mama for maternity. Those women who are about to go and give birth. Our women are now struggling so much. Even giving birth today is very expensive. And so what I want to say that she has not done a lot. And this one is letting down Christianity. It's going to get to a point whereby Kenyans will not elect you because you are a Christian. Because most Christians, even in the place of work nowadays, they are not employed. because you employ a Christian, you'll be reading the Bible throughout the day in the place of work. So what happens is that most people even prefer to employ Muslims and other religions because Christians has become a joke. They always play even in the place of work. And that's why we don't even have a lot of marketplace apostles in the kingdom, because most people, they think that it's just business as usual. So what is happening is that as the first lady, she has let us down, particularly as a Christian community. She's supposed to have been involved in quite a number of projects that will be helping the women, particularly those I mentioned, maternity and maternal care for the children. So what I can say is that we haven't seen a lot. Maybe if she's working behind the scenes, she's about to unveil her projects. But to be sincere, on my side, I haven't seen much that she has done. I don't know who is her advisor, and I don't know who is advising them, but I tend to believe that there's too much show off. We see her always in the church preaching and talking a lot. But if you are preaching and Kenyans are dying, it does not make any sense. Being a Christian is not a reason as to why we should not engage in these other activities, social activities that will help our people. Yes. So I believe she has not done much.